Behind the Bands. This is K-Rock here. We are happy to be back at Rams Head Live, and we've been waiting to do this interview for a while. We have with us Roll It Over, and we have going from this side to this side, we've got Joe, Jared, and Will from Roll It Over. So guys, welcome to Behind the Bands.
What's up? Thanks guys, we appreciate you doing it.
Now, this band was only formed in April, and we saw them in, I believe it was June, and immediately walked up to Will and asked him for a CD. So we've been waiting to do this interview for a while. So my first question for you guys, and I don't know who wants to field it, but how have you managed to get such a following so quick and be headlining at Rams Head so fast?
Well, I think the big thing that's helped is between the three of us, we've been in the Baltimore scene for quite a while, and we just sort of, in all honesty, I moved down here in April, and I was traveling into Baltimore before just to play, and I met Will, and he said, hey, you want to play with Winger in June? And this was the end of April. And I was like, sure, assuming he had a band and songs and everything, to find out we had basically nothing. So we sort of just put together a group of guys that had been around the scene, really thinking it would probably be that show, and then we settle our lineups. And everybody just stuck, so we brought some guys together from a bunch of bigger pieces and really liked what we were doing, so we stuck with it.
Now tonight's a big show for you guys, correct?
Yes.
Definitely. Talk a little about tonight. What's going on?
I mean, we're excited to be here. We just got done sound checking, and the place sounds great, so we're really looking forward to it.
Now, is this Roll It Over's first headline show, or have you guys headlined before?
This is our first time headlining.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a big one for us. I mean, Baltimore Sound had us out. We were lucky enough to bring up these guys. Death is a Dialogue came up from Atlanta to play with us.
Yay. Death is a Dialogue.
Yeah, Teresa set it up with us and gave us the headline spot and let us jump these guys on the bill. So it should be a great show. Excited.
Yes, thank you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Now, as quickly as you guys have kind of been taking off, how are you balancing writing songs versus, I know you're trying to get together a CD, and I'm sure you guys play all the time, and how are you balancing and deciding what you're going to focus on versus writing versus touring versus playing music?
Well, I mean, as opportunities come up, I mean, obviously, if someone comes to us and says, hey, you got so-and-so coming to town, that's going to be a big show, I mean, obviously you don't want to pass that up, but, you know, we've been working pretty well with, like, playing shows and getting out on the scene. Like, one of the big things for us as a band is we go out and support other local bands and get to know those people and how they do things and, you know, how they run their band, different aspects of it so that we can learn and grow as a band just as other bands are growing.
That's been, what you brought up, that's really been one of the hardest things for us because we really, you know, like you said, we hit it, we met in April, just really started playing in May and just really hit the ground running before we ever really learned to crawl together. And it's been tough, you know, because we've had, you know, guys like yourself and some radio stations throughout Maryland, Pennsylvania, and just Shockwave Magazine, other guys have really just taken us under their wing and ran with it when we really, you know, we didn't think we had anything going. So it's sort of been a shock from all directions how many people have treated us really well. So that's the toughest part, finding that balance. I mean, we typically, you know, it's a lot of like 12, 1 in the morning practice and writing sessions, and then playing, you know, we're sort of playing every other week, it feels like. So it's
Definitely a week at a time mentality for us. Whatever's in front of us at the time.
Now you guys mentioned some radio exposure because we've heard you. The song on the other side, it seems to be kind of like your I don't want to call it a signature tune, but it seems to be maybe your most popular tune. I don't know, but it's one you can hear on the radio. And to our fans, if you're listening to 98 Rock, you will occasionally hear the other side come up, and we've heard you on 98 Rock when you were in the studio.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about the other side. Who wrote it, and is it about anything, or is it just a good tune? Or
Well, the song, like, it's interesting. The song is like, you know, they were writing the guitar parts, and they had, you know, that whole thing worked out, and I was just kind of, I sat there and we were like, all right, I got to write lyrics to this. So I pretty much wrote them in about 15 minutes, and I had the vocal melody and everything. And it's weird because, like, when I write lyrics to a song, I'm not usually like looking at it as like, all right, this is what I'm going to write the song about. Usually I start with like a very general theme, and then by the time I'm finished writing the song, I'm looking at it like, okay, that's what I wrote it about. And the song is, it can have several different meanings. I kind of like to look at it as like, you know, as being in a band. There's kind of like two versions of yourself. There's the version of you that's not in the band that, you know, has to work a job. And then there's a version of you that goes out and, you know, you're this badass, you know, that gets up on stage and jams out in front of people, you know, and gets to entertain and have a great time and be someone else for that little bit of time. So that's one way of looking at it, which is...
Well, and for us, musically, and you called it our signature tune. I mean, we kind of view it that way. We always kind of have, because it's like the perfect combination of our two playing styles. And when we wrote it, you know, you came in, you said, I've got a riff, and I said, cool, I've got a pre-chorus, and then, you know, it just kind of went from there. So we view that as like the perfect hybrid of the way that him and I play.
about October 28th a little bit. There's a real big show coming up at Record Theater. This is going to be a costume party. Can you give us a hint? Is there any plan for a costume for Roll It Over, or what's that going to look like?
Oh, there are plans.
Oh, yeah. there are plans.
Maybe you don't want to talk about it.
Well, it's definitely going to be a surprise. We don't want to out that. We want people to come see it
I will
themselves.
say, I think that you guys, anyone who comes to the show, will get to see our true colors.
They'll see. I'll just to throw it out. They'll see more of me than they probably will see at any other time. You can take that how you want.
So we may have to do a little editing when we shoot some video footage at that show. We're going to see how it goes, because we're hopefully get some behind-the-scenes shots at that show. So Roll It Over mostly does originals when we've seen you, but is there a favorite cover that, and I'll ask each of you this question, is there a favorite cover that you love to do, personally?
Right now, as far as covers that we're doing, I have to say the one we're going to play tonight, we're going to play Poker Face tonight, and that's going to be really fun. That's always fun.
For me, it's I'm really torn. We're not doing my favorite one tonight. We do Slither, the Velvet Revolver song, and I'm a Slash nut. I mean, he's why I picked up a guitar. So I love doing that because it's stressful for me because I've got to play Slash's lead work, which is like, I mean, I know it and I love it, but it's more of a respect thing. It always makes me a little nervous. But I love Poker Face. That's one we always get a great response from. And as soon as we hit the first couple notes, everybody's like, "Is that what I think it is?" And then it goes well.
And same deal. I mean, a lot of these are simpler songs, but they always get a good response. And one of those songs that has always gotten a good crowd response every time we played it is My Worst Enemy.
I wanna roll and tell how baby will be. Oh, with the camera, where this fun will be. What you let is not the single camera. Nothing where it's nothing, it's not repeat, it's a good song. Oh, 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 oh,
So we're really glad we had the time to talk with Roll It Over here tonight for a big show at Rams Head Live. We're going to try to put some good video footage up on the web tonight for you. Check it out. Now, where can people find you guys? Where can we get the music? Where can we hear about you and see you?
Easiest way, if you go rollitovermusic.com, we've got that. We're definitely on Facebook, just facebook.com/rollitover. For those that are so inclined, we have Reverb Nation as well. Not quite as popular, but Facebook's the big one.
And here's a shameless plug. Go to the Reverb Nation site because you can see, I talked about the first time we saw these guys, you can actually see 2 of our videos we shot that night from their very first performance. And I don't think these guys will be in any way ashamed of that first performance because I think it's part of the reason they're sitting here at Rams Head Live tonight. So we want to thank Roll It Over for their time. We're fans. We're going to go out and enjoy the show. And I definitely suggest if you're in the Baltimore area, or well, you guys are touring in Pennsylvania, all over the place now. So get out and see these guys. And this is K-Rock.